Once upon a time, in the village of Siripuram, there lived a hard-working farmer named Dharmaya. He diligently cultivated his 2-acre field, growing enough grains to sustain his family. Dharmaya had a close friend in the village, another farmer named Ramaya. One day, as Ramaya passed by Dharmaya's farm, he noticed that Dharmaya had almost finished his harvest earlier than expected. "Dharmaya, you've finished your work quickly this time. If you need any help, just let me know. I will gladly assist you." Dharmaya smiled and said, "Your offer is enough, Ramaya. Until my body allows, I will do my work myself. I don't want to trouble you." Ramaya chuckled. "You've always been like this since childhood, Dharmaya. You never like to trouble anyone. But sometimes your kindness puts you in difficulty. A little help from a friend never hurts." Dharmaya nodded. "By God's grace, I have no troubles right now. But if ever I face hardship, who else do I have but you?" Ramaya laughed. "Now that's the spirit of a true friend. All right then, I shall leave now." Not far from Dharmaya's farm, there lived a wealthy landlord named Bhadraya. He owned 25 acres of fertile land, but his greed knew no bounds. Instead of being satisfied with his bountiful harvest, he lent money to struggling farmers at exorbitant interest rates, trapping them in debt. One day, a poor farmer approached Bhadraya with folded hands. "Sir, my crops are about to be ready for harvest, but I have run out of fertilizers. Without them, my crop will fail. I have spent all I had on seeds. Please lend me some money. I will repay you after my harvest." Bhadraya smirked. "I will lend you money, but you know my conditions. 10% interest, and you must sell your entire crop to me." The poor farmer sighed. "I have no other choice. If you don't help me now, I won't be able to recover." Bhadraya handed him the money, knowing well that this transaction would only push the farmer further into debt. He made a fortune by exploiting the helplessness of others. And with the village headman, Pushaya, in his pocket, no one dared to question him. One day, Pushaya and Bhadraya had a conversation. Bhadraya, visibly annoyed, said, "That Dharmaya, no matter how much hardship we create for him, he never comes to us for help. He toils alone, and yet the village respects him more than me. This bothers me. Pushaya, I must find a way to break him." Pushaya smirked. "I have an idea. Come closer." After whispering his plan into Bhadraya's ear, Bhadraya grinned wickedly. "That's brilliant, Pushaya. I will put it into action right away." The next morning, Bhadraya deliberately released his cattle into Dharmaya's field. The animals trampled over the crops, ruining the entire harvest. Seeing his year's effort destroyed, Dharmaya fell to his knees, tears welling in his eyes. "My crops, all gone. How will I survive this year?" He thought about reporting this to the village headman, but immediately dismissed the idea. Pushaya and Bhadraya are two sides of the same coin. There's no justice for me there. I have no choice but to endure this silently. Meanwhile, Bhadraya was not done yet. He turned to Bhushaya and said, "See, Dharmaya's crop is destroyed, yet he remains silent. What shall we do next?" Bhushaya laughed. "Now, go and file a complaint against Dharmaya. Say that he beat your cattle for entering his field. Leave the rest to me." Bhadraya did as instructed, and soon Dharmaya was summoned to the village court. As he arrived, Bhadraya stood confidently, twisting his mustache. Bhushaya spoke sternly. "Dharmaya, it has been reported that you mercilessly beat Bhadraya's innocent cattle. What do you have to say for yourself?" Dharmaya was shocked. "What? I lost my entire crop because of his cattle, and now I'm the one accused." He took a deep breath and said, "Sir, Bhadraya's cattle entered my field and destroyed my crops. I only chased them away. I never harmed them." Bhushaya scowled. "You dare argue with me? This is my final judgment. You must pay Bhadraya 100 rupees as compensation for his cattle and another 50 rupees as labor cost." Dharmaya's jaw dropped. "Labor cost? What labor?" Bhushaya smoked. "The cattle ate only the weeds in your field, so they actually helped you clear your land. If you had hired men to remove those weeds, you would have paid them, correct? So pay Bhadraya's cattle for their service." Dharmaya, unable to fight further, accepted his fate. He walked to Ramaya and told him everything, tears streaming down his face. Ramaya clenched his fists. "This is injustice. Take these 200 rupees and pay them. Leave the rest to me." The next morning, Ramaya led his own cattle into Bhushaya's fields and let them graze freely. When Bhushaya's guards saw this, they ran to him. "Sir, Ramaya has let his cattle loose in your fields." Bhushaya was furious. "I will take this to the higher court." Ramaya nodded. "Please do." The case reached the city magistrate. After hearing both sides, the magistrate turned to Bhushaya. "Tell me, does your village court truly issue judgments like this?" Ramaya grinned. "Yes, Your Honor. Bhadraya's cattle destroyed my friend's crops, and instead of compensation, he was forced to pay for their labor. I have simply followed the same rule." The magistrate shook his head and declared, "This is an injustice. Bhushaya, you are removed from your position, and Ramaya shall take your place. Furthermore, Bhadraya must compensate Dharmaya with 200 rupees and additional damages." Justice was finally served. With Ramaya as the new village head, peace returned to Siripuram, and Dharmaya was free to farm without fear. And as for Bhadraya and Bhushaya, they were taught a lesson they would never forget.